Dime qué es lo que esperas. Dime qué quieres ver.
Hello beautiful ones, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Joseph. This channel is called The House of Joseph, and if you are a returning subscriber, lovely to see you too. Now then guys, in today's video tutorial thing, we're going to be looking at, this is going to be an unboxing today of the Revolution Skin Perfecting Foundation in SPF 30, and that's in shade F3. Can you see that at the top there? Now, I got this yesterday from Superdrug, £10. I think it was 10, but again, I'll check and put that down here. And they didn't have that many shades in there. They had quite a few dark shades, but obviously for Celtic sort of pale choppies like mine, they didn't have a vast amount of choice in Superdrug. Could have bought off revolutiononline.com, whatever it's called, couldn't I? But, you know, I was quite keen to get the video done today. So I plumbed for this one in the end. And I think that F3, if the product's anything to go by, the colour indication there, I think that it could be quite a good match. What do you think? Can you see how pink my skin is? It's like a blancmange, isn't it? Like a pink wobbly old blancmange or a candy. Stop waffling, man. Okay, and get on with the right. We'll do. Trouble with myself, and we haven't even started yet, guys. So that doesn't bode well for today's tutorial video, does it? No. So right. So, would you like my new shirt, by the way? I got two of these from Sainsbury's, £18 each, because I was going to go on a date last Saturday, which I ultimately cancelled. And I got one. This is what I call my country squire shirt. Do you know what I mean? One of those that people go out shooting parties and riding to hounds. And although I don't agree with riding to hounds, and I any of that business, I hate all of that. But I quite like the image, though. Do you know what I mean? So with my barber coat, my welly boots, and a pair of beige jodhpurs, I'll be a country squire, wouldn't I, guys? What an idiot, eh? And I also got a blue and white gingham one as well, and these are both long sleeved. Appropriate for the time of year because it's getting chilly outside now. So shall I talk about foundation rather than shirts? Okay, I'll do that. So beautiful ones. As of today, exactly today, I have now three Revolution Foundation skin tints in my possession, and I'll talk to you about each one in order, shall I? So the first one I got was the CC Skin Perfecting CC Skin Tint, and this is in shade light. Can you see that there? And this starts off white, magically transforms or adapts to the exact shade of your skin tone. I have done a thorough review on this one, which I'll link into the description, and this is an amazing product. It is amazing. It matched because what I decided to do was to test it out thoroughly. I thought, well, try and find three pretty divergent areas on my body. So I thought the back of my hand there, the inside of my wrist, which is ultra pale, isn't it, and my face. And if this one matched all three of those, then we could say it was living up to its claims, and it did. It passed with flying colours. So this one's an amazing product, guys. £10 again. And then when I was in Hampshire, I got this, which is the Superdewy skin tint. Again, another tint, very, very dewy. This isn't silicone based though, so it won't have the length of wear or the second skin qualities which or in fact every silicone based foundation will give you. And this is in shade light/medium. That's written there. You won't be able to see it though because the lights are so bright in here. But and this is what's it called? Tinted. Oh, it's actually a tinted moisturizer. So it offers levels of hydration, and that very, very dewy sort of glowy sort of. I wasn't keen on this because I did a quick review on this during my Hampshire holiday vlogs, and I didn't get on with it. I even tried some of it on my sister's skin, and it just looked awful on her too. So a fail from me, unfortunately. And then yesterday's purchase is the CC Skin Cream Perfecting Foundation in shade F3, and this is an SPF 30 foundation. I have studied the ingredients list on the back there, and the second ingredient is trimethicone. So we know now that this is the silicone-based formulation. Anything ending in CONE, so cone, silicone, dimethicone, trimethicone, stuff like that, or just silica. If you see those in the ingredients, possibly near the top of the ingredients list, then you know that it will be a silicone-based foundation, which then lets you take advantage of all the properties which silicone foundations have: length of wear, second skin, ultra natural, sweat and water resistant, and all of those features. So have got quite high hopes for this one, and what I thought I might do today, guys. So after I'm going to unbox this one, I'll talk to you a little bit about, you know, how it looks on. I might try it on the back of my hand, may even try a swatch on my face. I thought that I might divide my face up into 3, not literally. I mean, I'm not going to go and get a scalpel and start slicing my face up into thirds. Do you know what I mean? That would just be silly, wouldn't it? I do a lot for my subscribers, but I draw the line at carving my face up into thirds. Do you know what I mean? So I thought I might try this one on 1/3 of my face, this one on another third of my face, so perhaps that side, and then finally this beautiful one on my forehead, or we will work it out as we go along. So does that sound like a good idea, guys? Or I could just do a straightforward review, but get a bit bored with those sort of ones, do you know? And I'm sure you at home get bored watching foundation reviews. So okay, should we crack on? Let's do it. But beautiful ones, before we do anything, before I even open up these bottles, these tubes of makeup, I need to go and get a J-cloth because I'm very, very, very clumsy. As some of you know out there, I've ended up with foundation all over my body, all over this flat, and basically, so I better go and get a J-cloth, so back in a minute. If any of you beautiful ones have seen my first impressions on the Blur Stick by Revolution, and Revolution's a really, really, really good company, by the way, it's a British company, and I'm a big fan of British companies. Getting off the beaten track, the Blur Stick video I did yesterday, I talked about the CC Skin Cream Perfecting Foundation as being a dupe for the Estee Lauder Futurist Foundation, which is £36 for 40 mils or something like that, I believe. This one is 26 mils, so pound for pound, the Estee Lauder's not that much more than this one, really. I mean, come on, guys, do you know what I mean? 45 mils compared to 26 mils, so that's a bit naughty of Revolution to start off with. So this is significantly smaller than what it's trying to dupe. But I guess we can forgive Revolution for that, can't we? Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, if this is an amazing foundation, then 26 mils is better than nothing, isn't it, I guess? So it comes in a gold box with a black two black panels on the front and the colour on the top. And as I've said, if that's a true indication, and I don't think it will be at all, if that's a true indication of the shade of the foundation inside, then it's a pretty good a good match. However, do never ever go by something like that, because as I've just said, it's the colour inside the foundation proper will be nothing like that, I don't think, anyway. So you've got the Revolution branding on the front. It says there, Skin CC Cream Perfecting Foundation SPF 30. And this is called Moisturizing Rich Foundation, contains hyaluronic acid, collagen and antioxidants. Now, many of you will have heard me talk about topical collagen before. Topical collagen on your skin is like trying to force a breeze block through a keyhole. It just won't, do you know what I mean? It will just sit on the surface of your skin and just do nothing. So anything that has topical collagen in it it won't do anything for your skin. It just won't. So it being in there is irrelevant or null and void or pointless, really, in other words. So get down off that high horse, please, man. Okay, will do. And on the side, you've got the Revolution branding, and on the back, the instructions. And I guess under there would be some directions, but Superdrug have very kindly, very considerately slapped a great big security sticker over the part that I would need to read. But so, and that's it, really, guys. And as I said, it's 26 mils, which says down there. Quite classy, I guess. Should we crack it open and have a little look? Why not? How are you all, beautiful ones? Hope you're all doing well. Winter's well and truly on its way. Autumn's almost on its way, isn't it? So this is the product now out of the... Ah, right, okay. So can you see the sticker on the bottom there? And already we can see quite a vast change between the lid, the indication of the shade inside, and in fact, they're totally different colours, aren't they? This one looks more pale, more peachy. That one's far more pink. But and I don't know whether is it a good indication of the shade. So what I'll do now is I'll take the lid off. So we've got a little pump in there, and this is very, very similar to Estee Lauder's Futurist, which I guess that, you know, they're trying to dupe. The tube itself, beautiful ones, is clear plastic with a gold collar up here and a gold lid and a pump, which is good because, you know, precision. It depends how good the pump is, again. And you have a transparent area about 2/3 of, or a quarter of the way down the tube, and that's to indicate the shade inside and also how much foundation you have left. And F3 shade is for neutral / cool undertones. And Revolution, I think there are 20 shades in this one. Revolution's really, really, really good at covering all bases when it comes to all skin tones when it comes to foundations. They do olive, they do neutral, they do warm, they do cool. Very, very inclusive for darker skin shades and paler skin shades too. So, and I suppose at F3, because it's a light shade for cool / neutral undertones. They didn't do a pure cool one, and sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But in this range of foundations, they didn't do a pure cool one, so it was cool / neutral. Right, without any further waffle, so did you see the pump? I guess it's little bit cheap looking, isn't it? Just mass produced again. So, mind you, Estee Lauder's mass produced, isn't it? So I don't know whether they're supposed to shake it or not. What does it say? So should we get some of this on the back of my hand? And what I do on the back of my hand for is just to have a little look and see. So can you see it's brand new? There's nothing. Right, here it comes. This pump's rubbish, absolute rubbish. It's not letting me get any of the foundation out. It's not very good, is it? Okay, well that would have to start off with. So there it is, and I guess it's pretty pale, isn't it? But without any further waffle, I'll just blend that one in, and it doesn't glide on, so there's a bit of resistance there. There's a bit of friction, so it's not the most hydrating of formulations on my rubber arm. The rubber arm's back for its cameo appearance today. It's got that sweet sort of silicone smell, which a lot of foundations. It's not scented though, which is, you know, thank goodness for that, because and Amanda, when I were chatting yesterday or the day before, while we were backwards and forwards commenting on YouTube about foundations and why they stink, do you know what I mean, and how offensive some of us find that smell. But right, so there's him on the back of my hand, and it hasn't dried, and I put it on 20-30 seconds ago. The colour match is very, very pale, isn't it? Very, very, way too pale, possibly for, oh, I don't know, what's that? I've just had a shave, so that's a little shaving nick. Ow, what stings. No aftershave on that, please, today, mister. Okay, no aftershave on that, then. So we can already see that it's very, very, very glowy, isn't it? And it still hasn't dried. So, and I don't think it would dry because it's a moisturising foundation. You know, you're not going to get that. You'll always have that sticky sort of feeling, is what I'm trying to say. So if you don't like that, you'll probably have to powder it down afterwards. I'm guessing this foundation would be brilliant for dry skin, possibly not oily skin, which I've got. My skin tends to be more combination towards oily, especially in the summer, and in the winter it's just dry, normal. So. But, yeah, so can you see how glowy that is? You see the reflection? And some of that's moisturising, some of that's the foundation itself, that, you know, the glow-giving pigments in the foundation. If the pump doesn't work, guys, what I might just have to... It looks quite nice there, doesn't it? But what I might have to do is unscrew it and just take it out of the tube itself. Hopefully not, but... And what I'll do now is I'll put a swatch either down here, I'll put it down there, shall I? Avoid the cut on the face, so it doesn't say to shake, does it? So... Squeeze the there we go. So if you have that issue, just give your tube a quick squeeze whilst you're pumping it, and then the foundation will come out, because it obviously needed a bit of a push or a squeeze or something. So let's get him on there. Can you see that? And I'll put that there. It's way, way, way too pale, isn't it? As I said, on the skin, it doesn't glide on, so it's not. It's basically a cheap foundation. Do you know what I mean? It's not. I suppose it gives a little bit. Does go quite a long way though, guys. I mean, I didn't put that much on, and that whole side of that face is done now, isn't it? Really? Wow, spreading like a dream. It's not spreading, but I mean, it's going a little bit's going a long way. Is what I was trying to say, my usual bumbling way. Right. Okay. So, just clean fingers. And bearing in mind that I've got no primer on it, and I don't use primers, I don't believe in them, I think it's a gimmick. But let's have an my application there wasn't the best in the world, is what I'm trying to say, and I don't think that the addition of primers would make a blind bit of difference. Some of you may beg to differ. Right, let's just blend that round that old nose. Less of the old, please. I'm only 50, for goodness sakes. Do you know what I mean? You'd probably think I was 180, wouldn't you? So beautiful ones. That was a very, very small amount, just meant to be for a swatch, wasn't it? But it's basically covered a whole third of my face. And on the skin, it does feel really, really hydrated, a little bit sticky actually. So it's, again, that indicates that it's quite a cheap foundation. But I'll come in for a bit of a close-up so you guys can have an inspection. Way, way, way too pale, isn't it, guys? I don't think it will oxidize. It probably will oxidize, but I don't think we'll be able to save this formulation anyway. But it's quite glowy though, isn't it? Quite reflective, and a little bit dewy, I suppose, as well. So again, perfect for dry skin. You know, dry skin needs a dewy sort of reflective foundation to bounce the light off flakes and dry patches and lines and wrinkles and stuff like that. Okay, yeah, I'm sort of undecided at the minute, but I guess what we need to now do is I'll remove that layer, because I'm going to go in with the foundation brush, and I'll talk to you about which one I'll use in a minute, and then should we apply a third, and a third? Should we do that? Let's do that. So now, beautiful ones, before I put the foundations on 3 parts of my face, we need to decide which brush to use. So we could either use a stipple brush, and these are all slightly wet. I've just washed them all. This one is where you go and, and you basically apply the foundation with this one, and then you hold the foundation at the end, the brush at the end, and then you do very small swirls. And then after the foundation's on the skin, you need to sweep it, like basically filling in the holes. And then by sweeping it, you're just leveling it off. Got water on my face. Doesn't matter, does it? Or we could use my my over, and I haven't used this yet in any respect. I've done a video on how to, can you see it's wet? Because I've just had it in my jug. I've done a video on how to use each one of these, but I haven't used this one on my face as to apply foundation like I would do today. So that's a contender, isn't it? Should we try that one, or we could just try the old paddle brush? It's up to you, beautiful ones. Right, I think we may as well give the oval brush a try. Is that okay? Let's do that then. So beautiful ones, get your foundation again and get your brush. And as I said, this is slightly damp, so I guess it will interact with the silicones on some level, won't it? And I'll put, again, squeeze the tube. If you're having issues with your pump, squeeze the tube in your hand, and at the same time get your finger on and pump the foundation out. That's way too much now, but doesn't matter, guys, does it? This is a review or a play around for you beautiful ones out there, and that should cover my entire face, shouldn't it? Because we now know that this foundation spreads or a little bit, goes a really, really, really long way. Right, and it's said it's not scented, didn't I? And what I do with foundations is I just blend them in just to give me a more of an accessible area to then put on the brush. Because if I went in with my brush or just did this, which you see quite a few YouTubers doing, do you know what I mean? Squeezing the foundation straight onto the brush, then you go and put that straight on, you're going to end up with a big blob of foundation on your skin. So, and the idea behind foundations is the fact to start off very, very, very small amounts of foundation, or very thin layers, and then build up till you get your desired coverage. That makes sense? Hope so, right. So what I'll do now is I'll just gather that one onto the brush. Can you see? There. And I also just like to finger blend that one in just to get as sheer a coverage as possible. And the remnants which are on that old finger, I'm just going to blend in. So, right, so hold your brush at the end. And again, we're going to just do a very similar sort of affair with the stippling brush. Just very, very small circular motions to push the foundation into the skin. Not as easy as it sounds, guys, actually, but practice makes perfect, doesn't it? Wow, it is really, really, really hard to get across the skin. It just is. So, and I don't know whether it's because the brush is slightly damp or whatever. It's just, I'm having to really, really, really pull it across my skin. So, and I know for a fact the Estee Lauder one, it goes on like a dream. But mind you, for £36, you'd expect it to go on like a dream, wouldn't you? Whereas something which costs £10, although a little bit less in volume or size, do you know what I'm trying to say, guys, is the fact that it's not the best foundation in the world. You can tell it's a cheap one, but... Right, so, again, very sticky, very, just sticky. I can't think of another word to describe it, but, wow, that colour's way off. So I'd actually call this quite a fair sort of shade, as opposed, they called it light with cool to neutral undertones. I'd say this was a very, very fair shade. I suppose it's quite perfecting, isn't it? A little bit glowy, but I'm not a fan of it at the minute. I'm just not, because it feels really, really cheap and a little bit nasty to me. Again, for £10, you can't expect. Do you know what I mean? You can't expect a La Prairie or a Chanel foundation, because obviously you pay for what you get to a certain extent. But right, okay. What I need to do now is just go and tidy up brows, and when I come back, we'll use the same brush, and I ought to just wipe the. I'll go and wash this actually between applications. Yeah, I'll go and do that now. See you in a minute. Right, guys, now it's the turn of the Superdewy Skin Tint, and this is a tinted moisturizer. This is in shade light / medium. And again, I didn't like this when I failed this when I reviewed it, but it's worth a try, isn't it? So again, give that a quick shake, and I'll put some of that on the back of my hand. We'll give it a good fair crack of the whip show. I've lost the lid to that one because I just lose loads of things. Do you know what I mean? So this side or the forehead. Bearing in mind, when I come to do the CC, the one that magically adjusts, I'll have to use fingers, and I'll talk to you about why that is in a minute. So again, let's just smooth that one on, just to give me an area to then pick up with the brush. And there we are. Can you see that? And as I said, I just like to finger blend, and this will give us a far, far, far more sheer result, hopefully. You can see that, can't you? So again, we're trying to push this into the... First of all, you've got to get it onto your skin. Do you know what I mean? And once it's on the skin, then you can start to manipulate the foundation to where you want or how you want it to look. So now what I'm going to do is just to go and what I'm doing here is I'm pushing this into to my pores by doing the circular motions, little tiny circular motions. And this, again, it just feels a little, not as hard to rub into the skin or to apply, to basically put on the skin as this one did. I mean, that was awful. But this, it's giving me some resistance, but obviously it's not anywhere near as bad as the right side, which will appear left to you guys out there. So yeah, little circular motions. And as I said, what we're doing there is by and a little bit of pressure, not too much. I mean, you don't want to hurt your skin. Do you know what I mean? And what we're doing there is just pushing the foundation into the skin. So every pore is now full of foundation, or the insides of the foundation of the pores are now covered with foundation. What you need to do then is just to sweep over to seal the deal. Okay, let me put that over there, because we won't need our brushes now, because I'll talk to you about why we're going to, how we're going to apply the CC, the magic adjusting one in a minute. But so this side is the brand new one, the perfecting foundation. This one is the skin, the moisturising dewy, super dewy skin tint. Very, very, very sheer. I didn't like it when I first tried it, did I? But let's have a look now. Okay. Ooh. Doesn't look too bad now, guys, does it? Not in the studio lights. Obviously in Hampshire I had my studio light with me, but the lighting was totally different than it is here. But yeah, I suppose, let me feel how very, very, very hydrating. Not as, that side just feels sticky. Sticky, but this side just feels hydrating, and yet there's none of that horrible stickiness. You know, I mean, touch that side and it almost, no, I was going to say, see if it's actually pulling my skin, and it's not, but that side's drying now, whereas this side, I'm quite pleased with that side now. And I think I applied it with fingers, didn't I, in Hampshire? So I guess a foundation brush has now given me a far better look. It's given me an airbrush sort of look, hasn't it? And it's given me a better application. So, oh, and that one was 8 or 9. Again, I'll find out and I'll put that down here, and I'll link everything I'm using today into the description, including brushes, tutorials which I've done, which I've mentioned here today. But the colour match is really, and this one is oxidised now, and I put that on about 5-10 minutes ago, and this one you saw me put that on, and I haven't paused this video between then, so yeah, okay, that basically looks like my skin now, doesn't it? Only better. So it could be that I'm doing an entire vault face on this one now, couldn't it? And I'm changing my mind again, which happens quite regularly, but it's still, and it's been on for 5 minutes now, and it just feels really, this side's starting to, you know, that side still feels really sticky. It's dried now, but it still feels sticky, which isn't very nice for a foundation. I suppose if you went in with powder, it would certainly adhere to powder and give you a much, much thicker powdered look. Whereas this side, I don't wear foundation on a daily basis anyway, but if I were to powder, I would only powder areas which were needed. Now this whole area would need powdering, do you know what I mean? Otherwise, you're going to, with stuff stuck to it like forks and knives and plates and cups. And no, I'm kidding. But yeah, no, I'm pretty pleased with that side. And can you see now how, by using a brush as opposed to fingers, can change how something can look on the skin entirely? That's awesome, actually. And I was going to throw this away, actually, at one point, especially after the holiday. But I'm glad I've done this video now today. I mean, wow, look at that. Can you see that 45-degree angle of light? It does feel really, really, really hydrating and lovely on the skin. So without any further waffle, I'll put the CC one on, and I'll show you him quickly. This is an amazing product, and as I said, I don't wear foundation on it, but if I was to wear it, this would be a go. And this is a holy grail product of mine now. I would wear this every single day, because it just transforms to the exact shade, the exact same shade as your skin, eliminating all that guesswork and wasting money as well. So this is Creme, Skin Creme, basically French for cream. Creme Skin Perfector CC Skin Tint with vitamin E. All of these formulations have vitamin E in them. This video is not sponsored. I should have said that at the start. Yes, you should have, mister, but too late now. Never too late, is it, guys, to tell you that the videos aren't sponsored? Right, so should I just come back here a little bit, and can you see how glowy that side is as opposed to that? You can see that kind of from that area there to that area there, and that's basically the big differences between these two. One is a skin tint, one is a foundation. Both pretty dewy, both quite light reflective. Although this one is far more heavy coverage. This one's a medium to full cover foundation. This one's ultra sheer to just sheer. So, and they've both dried now. This one's leaving my skin feeling hydrated. No scent again, which is another thumbs up. So Amanda, you could possibly use this one, lovey. No, I just can't stand the fact that my skin feels it feels like I've got a layer of Pritt stick on my skin now. Do you know what I mean? It's just the most awful feeling. But this side, I could definitely live with that side now. So, right, before I continue, guys, can you see how mask-like that side looks? And I'm not liking that new foundation at all. So put a layer of this one on, and I'll put this on my forehead or forehead. And this comes out, as I said, it comes out white, which is nice. And then I'll put a little bit more on, actually, because... And this, again, was 10. I think all of these foundations were pretty much the same price. Again, I'll find out, and I'll pop that down here for you gorgeous ones out there. And the reason we're going to use fingers is because that these magically adjusting foundations or skin tints or what have you have little beads in them, and they're coated in silicones or phosphodiolipids and stuff like that. So what you need to do is to use the warmth of your fingers to burst those capsules which contain the pigment. So obviously using a brush would be there forever and a day. Do you know what I mean? Trying to break the cap. It would work eventually, but obviously you need the heat, the body heat from your fingers just to get the whole... Sorry, moustache again is trying to smother me as it does on a regular basis. But right, so... And you'll see in a minute, this just... Can you see it's gone on white? Just work that one in. And as my body heat bursts those capsules, the pigment will come through, and there, can you see it's disappearing now? And this is why I love this stuff, because it suddenly just disappears into your skin, but leaves skin looking amazing. Can you see I'm smiling again because I've got to use my, I've been able to use, I've had an opportunity basically to use this gorgeous foundation, which is just, I think as I said that was £10, but if it was 80, 90, £100, I'd pay that for it. Do you know what I mean? Because it is that amazing. Right, and that's in shade light medium, so again, very appropriate for ultra pale Celtic choppies like mine. So I'll just tidy up salt and pepper in here and here or here. And I'll just tidy up that eyebrow. This eyebrow seems to be determined to be smothered in foundation today, doesn't it, little bugger? Let's have a look at that now, shall we? Right, okay. So wow. I love that. I just think that's amazing. Out of all three of those, I mean, what do you reckon at home? Do let me know in the comments, please. I'd love to hear from. I know no one ever will, because no one ever does. Do you know what I mean? No, I'm kidding. Loads of you do, and I do really appreciate your comments. And I'm not just saying that to make this channel bigger or what have you. I'm just saying that because I really do like hearing from you, and I do try to answer every single comment. And if I ever miss any, it's not done intentionally. It's because sometimes they slip through the net. Do you know what I mean? And right, waffling man, get on with the review. So, wow, I just can't extol to you the virtues of this foundation enough. It is amazing, and you saw it went on white, didn't you? And I guess it has left a sort of an opaque sort of translucence to my skin. But do you know what I mean? For something to be able to do that just, and look at the glow between my eyebrows too. It's just incredible. Just awesome. And just smooth that on a little bit better. So yeah, it's important to use fingers when, again, moustaches. Okay, enough about moustaches. Okay, mister. Right. Again, it's important to use fingers to burst the bubble, to burst those capsules. If you're going to be using a foundation brush, then you'll be there forever and a day, as I've already said. But that's just incredible, isn't it? And it will oxidize as well. So, you know, if it looks like it's too pale when it first goes on your skin, then give it 5 minutes just to, and if it's still too pale, scrap it. If it's not, then you're onto a winner. So what I need to do now is I'll probably go and get myself a cup of tea and just spend 5 minutes just faffing. Got to do the whole flat today. I've got to clean the bathroom and this and that, but you didn't need to know that, did you beautiful ones? Oh, the life of being a Joseph who lives in Ely and makes videos for YouTube, eh? You wouldn't swap places with me, guys, would you? No, I didn't think you would. But Yeah, so this side now and my forehead particularly just look, in my IMHO, in my honest opinion, look amazing. That side just speechless. Basically, words are failing me when it comes to the awful Pritt Stick foundation. Should we call it that, the Pritt Stick Sticky Foundation? Let's do that, shall we? Just call it right by its name, man. Nope, not going to do that. It's going to be an internal row going on in a minute. Do you know what I mean? Right, I'll go and get myself a quick cup of tea, and when I come back, I'll give you my final thoughts on this new one and these other two, and then we'll close. Is that okay? Right, gorgeous ones. This is me standing in natural daylight now, and this side is the skin tint, the moisturising skin, or this tinted moisturiser base at that eyebrow. Still stubbornly holding onto that foundation, isn't it? Might have to get a scouring pad or something and start scrubbing. No, that's not the best way forward. So can you see that looks really, really, really sheer now, doesn't it? And just amazing in IMHO, again, in my honest opinion. There's a lovely bit of reflection up here. The skin feels really hydrated. I put it on about half an hour ago now. If it's going to oxidise any further, it probably won't now because, you know, as I just said, I put it on about half an hour ago. So any oxidation which could occur has already happened. But that's really, really, really glowy, isn't it? But not too glowy. So I'm not looking like a piece of tinfoil or a Dalek or a Cyberman or any of those things which are basically made of aluminium or metal. Do you know what I mean? But this side is just flat, awful, dull. In fact, that side looks dead in my opinion. But comparing this one to this one, what are your thoughts? I don't like it at all, and it still feels really sticky. So the Pritt Stick foundation on the right side of my face, which will appear left to you guys out there, think everything's in reverse or inverted. It's a huge fail from, this isn't a pass or test review today, but you know, I don't like it at all. It makes me look dead. It makes me look flat. Whereas this side, I mean, just brings skin to life. And can you see now the difference between flat foundations, which dull skin, and then a little bit of light reflections, just bringing this one forwards. It's making my skin glow. It's making me look healthy, isn't it? And as for the forehead, wow. It's just about the right amount of, start again. There's the right amount of shine, there's the right amount of mattness. It's very, very balanced, and the colour's superb. It's just amazing. And I can't even feel it on my skin. There's no stickiness, no pulling, no greasiness, although I imagine dry skin could use it too. So, yep. Okay, I'll just go and then we'll finish, shall we? So, yeah, I'll go and sit down, so. Legs are aching. No, they're not. Being an old drama queen again. So gorgeous ones. It's been about half an hour since I put the CC skin tint on my forehead, and therefore finished the experiment, or the comparison, the try comparison, applying foundation to 3 parts of my face. It won't oxidize any more than this. So this is how it now looks, and this would be ready. This would last for the whole day. I don't think the skin tint would last that long, really. But the forehead one, I remember from when I reviewed it before, it does last a really, really long time as well, and it gives you that opaque sort of perfected look all day too. So that's another big thumbs up. This side, again, just very, very sticky. I won't powder because I do own a powder somewhere. It's the Revolution IRL, or in real life, powder, which is pure white, and that's a pressed powder and a loose powder in one. But no, it just feels awful. It looks awful, very flat, very dull, and lifeless, I would say. Compare that side to that side. It's just awful, isn't it? Forehead though, big fan of of this one. And I guess I always will be, because that is just the most amazing thing. Again, it could rival Estee Lauder, it would rival Chanel, it would rival Sisley, any of those really, really expensive brands. This is an amazing, amazing, amazing product. And so it's this one now, but applied with a brush, a damp brush. I didn't try that in Hampshire because I had limited equipment with me. But as for this one, well, if anybody wants this out there, just just let me know, and I'll gladly give it to you, because it's awful, absolutely hideous. So gorgeous, people. That concludes our battle of the three battle foundation of the Revolution skin tints and foundations. The new one, the Skin Perfecting Foundation, ultimate fail from me. The overall clear winner was the Creme Skin Perfector, is it called Skin Perfector? Yeah, CC Skin Tint in shade light medium. If you're having trouble choosing a foundation, a shade of foundation, you find yourself wasting loads and loads and loads of money like I used to do, go and try this, guys, because it basically one shade fits all, or 3 or 4 shades fit all. So again, they do 3 or 4 shades light, light medium, medium dark, and so on and so forth. So all your bases are covered there, basically. I can't stress to you enough, though, this video is not sponsored at all, and I'm turning all offers of sponsorship down at the minute, because basically no one has approached me with anything which I think you guys would benefit from out there, and until that happens, I will continue to turn offers of sponsorship down. Right, okay. If you enjoyed today's video, please don't forget to give this one a thumbs up. Similarly, consider subscribing, hit the notifications button to all so that you're notified every time I release new videos. And all that remains is for me to wish you beautiful ones a gorgeous Wednesday. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see you all soon. Lots of love.
Proof.